25 years ago, I'll never forget this, I came home to my house. I was 15 years old, I was in high school, and my mom and my dad sat me down, and my mom told me that she had breast cancer. And after that, like any kid would, you worried about whether or not your mom was going to live and what life would be like without a mother. And it was a very difficult time for our family. Now, the good news is that my mom, through self-examination, found the lump, and she is today, 25 years later, a breast cancer survivor. But I'm not sure, Mr. President, I could tell you this story here today and tell you the positive result that occurred if she had not undertaken that self-exam, if she had not received the care that she was given so quickly and so effectively, because she found the lump after having been trained and encouraged to do self-exams. So she's a success story, and millions of women across this country are success stories because they've heeded the advice of preventative medicine. They've heeded the advice for many years now from the American Cancer Society and other experts that self-exams and mammograms for women in their 40s prevent breast cancer. And they prevent us from losing our moms and our sisters and our daughters. But this week, Mr. President, a task force, a government task force, kind of ironically named the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, contradicted their previous recommendations and said that women in their 40s shouldn't be doing self-exams. Women in their 40s shouldn't be having mammograms on a regular basis. And that makes absolutely no sense, Mr. President. We are in a world where everyone agrees that the way to reduce healthcare costs and to increase longevity of our people is through preventative medicine. And we know, through the success that we've had in recent years, that self-exams and mammograms save women's lives. Now, there are going to be what they call false positives, women who find something that turns out not to be a lump. And sure, they're going to be anxious during that time period while it gets checked out. But would you rather have your mom, your sister, your daughter be anxious for a couple days and get a good result? Or would you have them rather, on the other hand, not do the self-exam, not get the mammogram, and get cancer and potentially die? It makes no sense, Mr. President. We know that these mammograms for women in their 40s save lives. We know that self-exams save lives. It's not just me saying it, the facts show it. The American Cancer Society notes that deaths from breast cancer since 1990 have declined by 2.3%. And they've declined 3.3% for women in their 40s and 50s. Lives are being saved. So why would this government task force that's supposedly focused on prevention want to do away with self-exams and mammograms on a regular basis for women in their 40s? What could be the reason? The reason, as my colleague from Texas so eloquently stated, is costs. It doesn't make sense anymore because we're not saving enough lives for the money that it's costing for mammograms. Well, Mr. President, our moms and our daughters and our sisters are worth that cost. And if you want to get a picture of where we're going with this new health care proposal, and you want to know what the future is for how the government and your insurance company is going to view your health care, just take a look at this recommendation. Are they next going to say the same thing about men getting prostate exams in their 40s? Are we going to start making these cost-based decisions, or really furthering them to a degree that we haven't seen before? And are we going to lose our family members because we're rationing health care? These are big issues, Mr. President, and the American people, as my colleague from Texas said, need to wake up. And they need to watch what's going to happen in this United States Senate, this great body that debates the important issues. And never has there been an issue as important in modern times as what's going to happen over the next month or 6 or 8 weeks as we discuss these issues that are going to affect our health and our families' well-being. I sent a letter to Secretary Sebelius yesterday on this issue, and I saw her comments yesterday where she disagrees with this panel. I commend her for that. Women do not need to get the message now that they shouldn't be doing self-exams. Women should not be getting the message that they shouldn't be getting regular mammograms in their 40s. They need to do both things because it's going to help save their lives. And no government task force, based on lack of any new information, should contradict its prior recommendations that they do just that. I had a chance to speak with the Surgeon General of the state of Florida, Dr. Anna Viamene-Ross, yesterday about this issue, and she concurs with me, as does the American Cancer Society and other groups, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, that women should still do self-exams and they should still get mammograms on a regular basis in their 40s. I want to read, Mr. President, for you and for this chamber, a letter, an email actually, I received today from a friend of mine down in Broward County, my home state of Florida. She writes, "Please thank the Senator for his efforts on this important issue. I'm a breast cancer survivor who was first diagnosed before 50 years of age having a mammogram. Subsequent to the mammogram, my tumor was removed surgically. Unfortunately, within 5 years, I was diagnosed again with breast cancer in the other breast and had to undergo surgery and chemotherapy. The second time, I found the tumor through self-diagnosis. Every day I thank God that I had a life-saving mammogram and that my doctor showed me how to do a self-examination. Just recently I learned through TV that there are also recommendations that women should not utilize self-exam as a way to detect breast cancer. It's too unreliable. More hogwash. Most of my breast cancer sisters found their tumors through self-exam. Please ask the Senator to dispel any efforts or notions that self-exam is not a good means of detection. And additionally, and important to me, this is an important issue, and we need to get the message out to the women of America that these recommendations are wrong. And I only can stand here today with this good story about my mom, because if she wouldn't have done that self-exam, she might not be here with us. So, Mr. President, I hope that the American people will, as my colleague from Texas said, wake up and see what this means and what this portends for the future. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the floor.